So if you stumbled across today's video, you're probably thinking about, or maybe even in the process of moving to Puerto Rico. So I commend you. You came to the right place. Today's video isn't so much a price guide, a cost of living comparison, or anything like that. Basically, I just want to give you a couple of hints and tips to kind of help you navigate your move to Puerto Rico, and also these things will come in handy once you're on the island. Oh, before I forget, if you guys find this video informative, definitely subscribe. Not only to feed my ego, but I'm considering doing some live streams in the near future to kind of talk about more nuanced stuff. If you guys want to ask me questions directly about areas you want to move to, or just things related more directly towards your specific plans for the island. If I can help, I'm happy to help. So that's something I really want to do. Basically, let me know in the comments kind of like the best time of day that works for you. And what I'll probably do is I'll probably just go with the majority. I can move my stuff around. So again, if that's something you're interested with, go ahead and subscribe, and we'll try to coordinate that at a later date. Alright, so let's get into it. I'd say tip number one, and probably the most important thing, is building a network. One of the most important things on the island is word of mouth. Like finding things, that's going to be your best way. But how do you do it if you're not already on the island? Honestly, Facebook. Everyone in Puerto Rico uses Facebook. I highly recommend going on Facebook, going to the Facebook groups, looking for towns and just certain activities you want to do. The for sale sites on Facebook are great. Those types of communities are really going to help you. I mean, the people of Puerto Rico, honestly, are very kind and helpful. I would absolutely recommend, first step, Facebook groups. Another good site where you can meet lots of good people is Reddit. Reddit's another great site. You can find Puerto Rican groups in Reddit. So living in Puerto Rico, I mean, things vary so much town by town, neighborhood by neighborhood. And one of the reasons you're going to want to use these groups, either Reddit or Facebook or both, there's a lot of little things you have to take into consideration when it comes to just basic utilities. You're going to want to find out like your basic stuff, like, hey, I found this apartment or this house. Is this a good neighborhood? Do the water and lights go out? If so, how often? If the lights go out, do I lose water? Etc., etc. It's just part of living in Puerto Rico. Getting out there talking to people is going to be a great way to kind of get a feel for like the area you want to live in when it comes to like your utilities. Does the internet get out there? If so, what internet, what speeds? Do I have to look into Starlink or some other option? Things like that. I mean, it's those little things you got to kind of consider that sometimes we don't really think about, especially if you're coming from the mainland, like you just take it for granted. But here, it varies area to area. So that's definitely one of the reasons you want to join some groups on the internet. Alright, so now we got our networking out the way. And another website I would highly recommend is Clasificados Online. When it comes to buying and selling, that's, with the exception of YouTube Marketplace, that's kind of where a lot of stuff is done in Puerto Rico. And even if you're not using it to find a rental property or a vehicle or something of that nature, it's still a good website to kind of like get an accurate price comparison of what locals are selling things to other locals for, just to kind of give you an idea of the market. I've looked at a lot of sites, kind of like your Zillows and whatnot, and I've noticed a huge discrepancy in similar properties between what the the gringo price versus the Puerto Rican price. So even if you don't use that as a tool to actually find the things you're looking for, it is a great price comparison and a good way to gauge the market for real estate, cars, pretty much any item you can think of. Clasificados Online, it's kind of super basic website, kind of has a Craigslist kind of vibe. Really easy to navigate. If you look up here, there's a English tab. You can switch from English to Spanish. Some of the listings do stay in Spanish though, and I will say the translations aren't always the greatest. But I mean, that's the website everybody here uses in Puerto Rico to buy and sell. And again, Facebook Marketplace. Facebook Marketplace is also a great place to kind of get comparisons and kind of look around and see what's out there in your price range and in what area. That's another tool everyone here uses. Really, honestly, like those are pretty much your two main websites for buying and selling. Clasificados Online and Facebook Marketplace. So, honestly, those are going to give you a really good idea of kind of like what's available. And if you use that in conjunction with the groups you've come across, you should be fine. That should give you a pretty good head start. That way you're not overpaying, or at least you can kind of adjust and kind of like get a more accurate picture of what it costs to live on the island. I honestly, right now, I mean, if I tried to do a price breakdown of the island with the way inflation's going, it would just be impossible. And on top of that, I really don't know what lifestyle you want to live, so yeah, it'd be foolish. So hopefully you found those tips helpful, and it kind of like points you down the right path, and you can make educated decisions about how you want to live in Puerto Rico and where. So you made your connections with the groups. You used the kind of websites to get a feel for what's out there on the island and kind of what the price is. Just a few things that I want to talk about real quick. Culturally, probably things that might come as a shocker if you've never spent significant time on the island. So the first thing I want to talk about is people. Alright, so once you're on the island a little bit, you meet your neighbors, you meet people. It's very common for people to just drop in. Like, I know on the mainland, sometimes that's considered rude. Here, you just kind of get used to it. And people are respectful. If you're busy, they understand. But, yeah, it's pretty common for people just to drop by, see what you're up to. You know, maybe have a cup of coffee, eat some cakes. Things of that nature. I would say another thing that's not necessarily commonplace is lines. In Puerto Rico, there are lines for everything. You just wait in line. It's a way in life. Supermarket, bank, doctor's office, just about anywhere. I mean, it's an island. And everybody's out and about, so just kind of like something that I found annoying early on. Now I'm just kind of used to it. Now I just play with my phone and just wait it out. It's not terrible, but it's very commonplace. So I would be aware of that. If you're an impatient person, yeah, you probably won't like the island. Another thing, depending where you live, you're probably not used to this. The roads here are terrible. There's always traffic. Drivers are terrible. And if you live on the island and you disagree with that statement, then you're part of the problem. I'm sorry. But driving on the island's a little crazy, but you'll get used to it. Yeah, traffic enforcement is a joke. You'll see when you get here. Since we're talking about traffic, let's talk about cars. Alright, so here's my advice. If you've never really dealt with buying a vehicle in Puerto Rico, I would highly recommend going through a dealership for your first vehicle on the island. Number one, they're going to go through all the hassles and stuff. And just like a dealership in the States, you buy it, you're done. Go to the DMV, do your paperwork. Yeah, they might even do the paperwork there, I'm not 100% sure. Yeah, one thing I've never understood about Puerto Rico, if you buy a car private party, or if... Alright, traffic violations and things of that nature get tied to the vehicle, not the license. So if you buy a car private party and they don't disclose the traffic violations, there's a pretty good chance you'll end up paying for them, and it could range in the thousands of dollars. So that's something to be aware of buying private party. If you do buy private party, your best bet is to go with them to the DMV, make sure the title's clean, make sure there's no fines on the vehicle, make sure everything's clean and clear, and then just go ahead and do the transaction right there. That's very commonplace here in Puerto Rico. But honestly, if you want to avoid the hassle, pay a little bit more, go through the dealership, usually get some kind of warranty, and it's a lot easier just to work with them in case anything is wrong with the vehicle. I think one of the great things about Puerto Rico is Puerto Ricans are very festive. Like, there's always music. I mean, unfortunately, like, cars will drive by bumping music, but it is what it is. I mean, you get used to it. It's kind of like the Coquille Frogs. But yeah, Puerto Ricans are very festive, so there's always something going on. Like, I mean, if you're a social person, you're going to love Puerto Rico. If you're not that social, then it could be a bit of an annoyance, depending where you live. There's always a party somewhere on the island. And now that we're getting into the Christmas season right now, which I swear Christmas is like 3 months, oh my God, it's every day. It is amazing. I'm definitely going to make a totally separate video on the Christmas season here because it lasts like 2.5 months. And it's just drinking and eating and parties non-stop. But that's a video for another day. So honestly, really, there isn't too much to move into the island. Really, with those just couple of websites, that should give you a pretty good head start. I mean, the people here are kind and friendly. It's a great place to live. People are very social. And yeah, if you are planning on moving here, I think you made a great choice. There's always something to do. And I will say, in the 2+ years I've lived here, I mean, my lifestyle has changed drastically. I think I live a much better lifestyle. I think the quality of life here is so much better than the mainland. I mean, it's... God, I could spend a lifetime here making videos and still not show you half the island and all the things to do here. Alright guys, I'm going to go ahead and end the video here. If you liked the video, definitely like, subscribe. If you're interested in doing a live stream, yeah, definitely subscribe, let me know. And hopefully we can get in some more nuanced details about living in Puerto Rico, what it takes to get certain things here, like getting pets to the island, things like that. Which I didn't go over in today's video because it varies on the pet, and some things are really easy, some things are a nightmare. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will catch you in the next one.